Have you ever stared at a chart and wondered why some traders always seem to catch the big moves while others get trapped in fake signals? Today I'm going to introduce you a tool that completely changed the way you see the market. It's called the Ultimate RSI, and by the end of this video, you'll know how to spot real trends, avoid common mistakes, and trade smarter. Let's jump in and see how this wonderful tool can level up your trading. Classic RSI versus Ultimate RSI. Now let's talk about why we use Ultimate RSI and how it's different from the classic Relative Strength Index. The old RSI is very useful and many traders, including us, still use it because it shows overbought and oversold conditions or divergences. But sometimes the old RSI gives signals that are not perfect for following strong trends. The Ultimate RSI is built to focus more on the trend itself, so it helps you follow the direction of the market more clearly. It shows when the market is really bullish or bearish, and it reduces the number of fake signals you might get with the classic RSI. In this lesson, I will teach you step by step how to add Ultimate RSI to your chart, set it up correctly, and use it for real trades with stop loss and take profit. Adding Ultimate RSI to your chart. First, let's see how to add the Ultimate RSI to your chart. Open your TradingView chart and click on Indicators at the top. In the search box, type Ultimate RSI. Make sure you select the one created by Lux Algo, which is free to use. Click on it and now it appears on your chart. You will see two main lines. The white line is called the Ultimate RSI line, and the orange line is the signal line, which is a 14-period moving average of the RSI line. There is also a center line at 50, which helps us identify the market trend, and two levels at 80 and 20, which show strong bullish or bearish momentum. Settings. Make it smooth and clear. Next, let's adjust the settings so it works smoothly. Open the indicator settings. By default, the RSI uses a rolling moving average RMA, but we want smooth lines. So change the method to Triangular Moving Average, TMA. This makes the lines smoother and easier to read, but remember, smoother lines react a little slower to quick price changes. Do the same for the signal line. Set it to TMA as well. Keep the oversold level at 20 and the overbought level at 80. These settings help us see strong trends clearly and avoid many false signals that can confuse beginners. Finally, in the Style tab, make all the lines a little thicker so they are more visible on the chart. How to read the chart. Now let's look at how to read the chart. Whenever the Ultimate RSI line crosses above the center line at 50, it signals the start of a bullish trend. If it goes above 80, it shows a strong uptrend and turns green. On the other hand, if the Ultimate RSI line crosses below 50, the trend is turning bearish. If it goes below 20, it shows a strong downtrend and turns red. The signal line helps us understand the strength of the trend. If the white RSI line is above the orange signal line, the trend is getting stronger. If it goes below the signal line, the trend is weakening and could have a pullback or reversal. Reading the Ultimate RSI. When we see a buy signal, the first thing we'll look at is the Ultimate RSI line. If this line crosses above the orange signal line, it shows that market may start moving up. But we don't act just yet. Next, we check if the RSI line is above the midline at 50, which tells us that the overall trend is bullish. Only when both conditions are true, the RSI line crossing above the signal line and staying above the midline, we can consider entering a buy trade. For sell signal, the process is similar but in the opposite direction. First, we'll look for the Ultimate RSI line crossing below the orange signal line, which shows the market may start moving down. Then we check if the RSI line is below the midline at 50, indicating a bearish trend. When both conditions are met, we can consider entering a sell trade. By following these steps, you can read the chart more clearly and know when the market is likely to move in your favor. Real market examples. Let's look at a real buy example on the chart. First, notice that Ultimate RSI line crosses above the orange signal line. This is the first clue that the market may start moving up. Next, we check if the RSI line stays above the midline at 50. Once both conditions are true, we are ready to enter a buy trade. We place the stop loss just below the most recent swing low, so if the market reverses, our risk is limited. For the take profit, we set it about 1.5 times the distance of our stop loss, giving a safe and practical risk to reward ratio. A few candles later, we see the price goes up and hits our target. Now let's see a sell example. First, the ultimate RSI line crosses below the orange signal line, showing that the market may start moving down. Then we make sure the RSI line is below the midline at 50. When both conditions are met, we can enter a sell trade. The stop loss goes just above the most recent swing high, and the take profit is again set around 1.5 times the stop loss distance. If the market continues downward, our trade reaches the take profit safely. By following these steps, you can use the ultimate RSI to catch both upward and downward moves with clear rules, knowing exactly where to place your stop loss and take profit. This makes trading more organized and reduces the chance of getting caught in false signals. How to avoid false signals? Even though ultimate RSI is powerful, you must remember that no indicator is perfect. In flat markets, you may see the RSI line crossing the midline several times without a real trend. Always check the overall trend on a higher time frame before entering. Only trade when the trend direction is clear. Managing your stop loss and take profit is crucial. One popular strategy is the 1% rule, where you only risk 1% of your trading account on each trade. This protects your account and helps you trade consistently. What ultimate RSI can do alone? Now, before we finish today's lesson, I want to tell you something very important. Ultimate RSI is a powerful tool, but it cannot do everything by itself. For example, it cannot always tell us the big picture of the market trend. Sometimes it can give false signals, especially when the market is moving sideways or in a flat range. It also cannot measure the strength of a trend clearly, so we might enter a trade that looks good but is weak. That's why traders often combine it with another indicator like MACD to confirm the trend and make stronger and safer decisions. Don't worry, we will cover this complete strategy using Ultimate RSI and MACD in our next video. For now, just understand what Ultimate RSI can do and what it cannot do alone. Okay traders, that's for today's lesson. Now it's your turn. Open TradingView and practice adding Ultimate RSI on different charts. Look for trends, mark your entries, set stop loss and take profit, and see how the strategy works in real time. If you found this lesson helpful, like this video, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell icon so you don't miss the next trading lesson. Thanks for watching, and I see you in the next video.